Welcome back to the No Move Challenge of Tactics Ogre Reborn. In this episode, we're in Chapter 3. Once again, we have to fight off enemies who are looking to take Denim's head. This is another fairly easy map. There's honestly not a whole lot to say about this one. We've already done battles on this map before. The marshy terrain does a good job of slowing the enemy down. In Chapter 3, enemy formations tend to be a bit scarier. For instance, they have two ninjas here. Ninjas have access to multi-hit magic moves. They'll be possibly dealing 3 times as much damage as you might see from a wizard. Ninjas also move a lot faster, both in terms of their movement and their RT count. So they're a little bit more threatening than anything we've seen before. Here we see a demonstration of just how dangerous ninjas can be. Our fire dragon had an elemental advantage over the ice spell that the ninja was using, yet the ninja was still able to deal 300 damage to our dragon. The ninja also picked up a physical attack card and has activated the envenom skill. We'll definitely need to prioritize killing him, as he can be a major threat. It's a good thing we picked up some dragons earlier on in Chapter 2. They act as very good sponges for damage. Our dragon's able to get a nice crit here. He did pick up a crit card earlier on. Even with a critical hit, the enemy's warrior is only able to deal about 100 damage to the knight. So far we've been quite frugal with our use of items, but as we get later into the game we'll definitely need to start spending some money to inflict breach. Dynast King's Mead isn't cheap, but it's definitely one of the best options we have for dealing damage. Now that the boss is in range, Voltaire flings some mead at him. I'm not sure what the implication is, that maybe he drinks this. Surely if you threw a jug of mead at someone, it would break and splash over them. I don't think they would be able to drink it and become intoxicated. I'm not entirely sure why splashing someone with mead would reduce their defenses, but it's video game logic. Sistine is able to deal a hefty amount of damage to the boss here. Because the boss is breached, he's going to be taking more damage than usual. But Sistine already has an elemental advantage over him. If you have an elemental advantage over another unit, and you hit them with a finisher, you can deal tremendous amounts of damage. Especially so if the finisher you're using matches your own element. With that, we're finally able to take the boss down. We now make our way to Kuritanai Keep. We're just going to skip ahead a few turns here while we wait for the enemy to get in range. At the gates of the keep, we meet Gildora. She's a witch. She's also another word that rhymes with witch, but I'm not going to say that. On this map, the enemy's forces are kind of split into two. You have the units on the lower left side, and then the units on the right on the bridge. Ideally, we would just have the boss come forward and kill her as soon as possible, but as I said in previous episodes, the AI in this game has slightly changed from previous versions. Bosses will tend to just stay in place for 1 or 2 turns. Our beast tamer Voltaire has been equipping a wart dart blowgun for quite some time. This blowgun is able to inflict charm on enemy units. It's not guaranteed to land the charm, and the dart itself only deals 1 damage to most units. However, we do have Aracel as an archer. We've equipped the Eagle Eye skill on Aracel. This skill gives nearby allies and the user 100% accuracy. This 100% accuracy also applies to status effects. This means that the blow darts now have a 100% chance to inflict charmed. We're also using Boulder Bow +1s on some of our units. These bows have a chance of inflicting silenced on the enemy. For most of the enemy units we're fighting, it's not going to matter too much, but getting a free silence off on magic users is really nice. We get pretty unlucky here. Bayan misses a fairly good chance of landing a charm on this golem. Because of that, he's able to get his turn shortly after and hit us with a Raven Eye. Our formation may look a little strange on this map, but it's mostly due to the way that the enemy splits their forces. We have our frontliners on the right. Our squishier units are a bit exposed due to the way the enemy has moved. Thankfully, we're able to get rid of the berserkers. There's only the golem left. When the enemy's boss gets in range, she's going to be hitting us pretty hard with magic spells. I decided to put my frontline units on the right side. They'll be able to absorb the magic attacks a bit better than our squishier units. If the boss has area of effect magic spells, then she'll be enticed to move a bit closer to our units to get the most out of them. By baiting her in like this, we're then able to hit her with all of our archers, and we can hopefully end the map as soon as possible. Finally, the boss is in range to start attacking our units. Even without a bunch of magic up cards, she is still dealing about 200 damage to our frontliners. It was probably a decent idea to have our units set out this way. I don't think our squishy units would have appreciated being pelted with 200 damage each turn, on top of the damage that they're taking from this golem. This enemy archer has picked up a crit card, so she's a bit more dangerous than we'd like. I have Bayin charm her. Now she can start critting her own units. The enemy's left flank has been destroyed. I don't care too much about destroying the right side. I just want to get rid of the boss. She's now in range to start hitting us with AoE spells. Our frontliners are able to tank it fairly well, but poor old Bayin is not looking too good. Falkert's already pretty low and he takes a nasty crit from this knight. Luckily we have plenty of healing salves to go around. Gildora has moved up far enough. At this point all of our archers should be able to snipe her. Canopus got knocked back by the golem earlier, but he's just in range to unleash one last finisher, and we take down Gildora. We're now able to enter the keep. In this fight we have a choke point that we need to lock off. Zabos is a really scary boss, and he is probably going to be able to instantly kill most of our units. The frontline units in his army are also no slouches. The Terranites are able to inflict fear on our units. They also have Dragoons who will deal tremendous damage to our Dragon units. On Bane's turn earlier, I pushed Falkert up one tile. Denim is diagonal to him, and we have a dragon on his other diagonal. My plan here was to use Rampart Shadows. This way, Falkert will only be facing one enemy at a time, The Rampart Shadows will block off the enemy from going any further. We are not able to block all of the enemies. They have 2 winged units. These guys aren't a huge threat, and we'll probably be able to take them out quite easily. Once Zabos gets involved, things will get dicey. Zabos comes equipped with items that increase his jump, so there's no way for us to completely block him off. The Terror Knights and Dragoons aren't able to get up the steep ledges if you're able to knock them down. So our Rampart Shadow strategy completely blocks them off. If Zabos approaches us, we are not going to be able to block him off. The Rampart Shadows will stop him approaching from the front, but he can just go around them. Thankfully, the enemy Dragoons have arrived before the Terror Knights. They're still able to deal a bit of decent damage to Falkert, but I'd rather not have him being inflicted with fear so early on. Now that the winged units have arrived, we are focusing on getting rid of them as soon as possible. If left unchecked, they're going to be harassing our back line. A bunch of our units have to work together to take out this one unit. But we're able to kill the winged unit just before he gets his turn. Now that the winged units are gone, we're only concerned about the centre of the map. Falkert and the Rampart Shadows are doing a splendid job in preventing the enemy from harassing our back line. Falkert does get knocked back, but in the grand scheme of things, this may have actually been useful for us. In Tactics Ogre Reborn, the Rampart Shadow skill doesn't last forever. Eventually the shadows will disappear. At that point Falkert could have been surrounded. He can definitely take attacks from one unit from the front, but if he was surrounded, I'm not too sure how long he was held out against 3 units. In the PSP version of this fight, you could use rune fencers, as they have the barricade skill. I'm pretty sure the barricades stay there forever, and since enemies don't attack them, you can easily just cheese this map by blocking the 3 tiles in front of the bridge. On this map, the enemy has 2 clerics. We're definitely not going to be able to rush down Zabos. He just has too much HP and defense. We'll need to get rid of those clerics if we stand a chance of getting rid of him. Earlier on, he also picked up a physical attack up card. The Rampart aura from our Fire Dragon is going to prevent him from harassing the backline for just one more turn. Now that he's in range, Voltaire is able to land a breach on him. We were able to charm one of the Terranites just after she activated Fearful Strike. This is going to be great in helping us get rid of those clerics. Our units are not doing too bad against them. The cleric that was hit with fear is going to have her defenses completely shredded, and we're able to take her out. On this turn, our Rampart Shadows actually disappear. In hindsight, I probably should have waited one more turn before using them. We've still got plenty of physical units we need to deal with first. Having the shadows for just one more turn would have helped us greatly. Zabos now has 2 physical up cards. His Rending Gale deals around 900 damage. Thankfully he used it against the dragon, who's able to tank the hit, but at this point things are getting very dicey. This enemy Terra Knight is doing an amazing job for us. She's basically killed 2 clerics for us. Now that the enemy has no more healers, we're good to go on rushing down Zabos. The enemy's Dragoons have activated the Dragon Slayer skill. This is not ideal as we have 2 dragons on the front line. Dragon Slayer adds a huge bonus to damage dealt against dragon units. One of the Dragoons even has a crit card. Dragon Slayer even boosts the damage that finishers do. So we see we nearly got taken out by that Dragoon in just one attack. Here we're going to hit our own dragon, but it's definitely worth it. We were able to kill the Dragoon that was about to use Dragon Slayer on him. Even without Dragon Slayer, Zabos is still able to do similar damage with his finisher. Our dragon finally goes down. He did a very good job of tanking for us. The fight's nearly over, so we're not too concerned about him dying for good. This enemy Terra Knight has gone absolutely crazy on their own forces, and she racks up yet another kill. Now, something that's annoying here is Zabos retreated. Because he's not in range to attack any of our units, he's actually going to start healing. We thankfully have a counter for this. Our archers are equipped with Boulder Bow +1s that will inflict silence occasionally. Aracel also has the Eagle Eye skill, so she can guarantee status effects on attack. Now that Zabos has been silenced, he won't be able to heal anymore. We do use a Blessing Stone here, just to bring our dragon back up. In this version of Tactics Ogre, units that are revived get their turn instantly. This is a decent quality of life feature. In similar games like Final Fantasy Tactics, units that are revived usually end up getting picked off shortly after being revived. Phoenix Downs only give you a few HP. Unless a unit gets lucky and they get their turn really quickly after being revived, they can usually be in bad positions. After all, if enemies were able to take them down in the first place, they're probably still going to be able to attack the unit on their next turn as well. Because Tactics Ogre Reborn lets you move a unit instantly after they've been revived, you have a decent chance to make them retreat or use a healing item. Now we've managed to take out Zabos's forces. It's just the boss left. He's still a huge threat though, so we want to do this as soon as possible. We did hit him with a breached early on, but it's worn off, so our attacks are not doing a whole lot of damage anymore. If you've ever had any trouble with this fight, the one thing I would take away from it is to definitely bring something to inflict silence. We're able to bring Zabos down to critical HP, and he flees from the battle. After the battle, Kachua leaves our army for good. Earlier on, we stopped having her joining us as a guest unit, but now she decides to return to Goliath. There is a very important dialogue choice later on in Chapter 4 with Kachua. The right answer that you pick in that dialogue choice changes depending on actions you take earlier on in the game. The choice you pick here doesn't matter at all, however. We now have another fight against the Necromancer. The first couple of turns of this fight are fairly boring, just units shuffling around, so we'll skip ahead. On this battlefield we're at a huge disadvantage because of the terrain. There's a huge wall in front of our army. Our main damage dealers are our archers. They're going to have very little way of dealing damage in this fight. Our archers will have to save up a lot of MP here. Our regular attacks are not going to reach the boss, so we'll have to rely on finishers. The enemy has a few physical units that will be marching down on the right side. Many of our units are not going to have any other targets, so we may as well just attack these for now. When facing undead, we can use healing spells to actually attack. The heal spells don't deal as much damage to undead as they would heal a living unit. Using healing spells to kill undead is still pretty good though. Some of our units don't have much else to do. Sadly, we're not able to take out the boss straight away, as they have a rogue amongst their forces. The gremlin unit is the rogue, and in this version of the game, rogues seem to be stocked with healing items. Now the boss has picked up a crit card. This is very bad news for us, as she has access to the tier 2 magic spells that deal area of effect damage. With one single area of effect attack, she's able to deal more damage than most units can ever hope of doing. The gremlin keeps healing her up as well. We get a brief break from being bombarded with meteors, and the boss decides to summon more undead. I'll happily take her summoning 2 units each turn, as opposed to being nuked by her magic attacks at this point. Now here, all of our archers don't have quite enough MP for one more finisher. The good news is that the enemy boss is staying in place. She could have easily attacked us and moved away. Canopus now has enough MP for a finisher, and he's able to end the fight. Up next, we meet Sir Hector. Hector is another fairly dangerous boss. Like Zabos, he's very defensive. He's also backed up by 2 clerics as well. Luckily for us, the clerics in this fight actually have some kind of weird AI quirk. Their AI, for some reason, tells them not to advance any further than the little ridge by the middle of the map. Just where the water drops down, they won't seem to go any further than this. So, providing Hector advances forward, he'll never be able to get back up from his clerics. This means that it's much easier to kill Hector than it is to kill Zabos. Just like in the Zabos fight, so Hector has a Dragoon. He's able to actually get a Dragon Slayer hit off on our Dragon fairly early on. This is a much easier fight than the Zabos fight though, so we don't have to worry too much about our Dragons dying. Hector is just in range for us to land a breach on him. Even being breached, our finishers are still not dealing a whole lot of damage against him. Like Zabos, he's a knight, so we'll definitely want to hit him with silence as well. Even though his clerics are not going to help him in this fight, he's still going to be able to heal himself. Hector does get healed once by the cleric as he's just at the end of their range, but on his next turn he's going to move up and he's going to be without support from his clerics. We're able to silence him as well, so no more healing. We get pretty unlucky here and he activates his phalanx. On the Chaos route, Hector isn't too much of a threat, but if you fight him on the Law route, he's actually one of the most dangerous bosses. He comes equipped with 4 cards. Later bosses in this game all have 4 cards, and from the end of Chapter 3, we'll be seeing that a lot more. I think on the Chaos route, the second Zabos fight is the first time when you see that. So you'll get to see that soon. Hector doesn't activate his phalanx again. We've already got him down fairly low, so it's time to go for the kill. As you might be able to see, his clerics just refuse to move any further than that point on the map where the waterfall is. And here, Hector's own dragon betrays him and gets the kill. For now, we'll have to leave it off here. Join us again in the next part for the rest of Chapter 3. See you then.